Chosen ones, listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is not just a message, it's a declaration of your destiny. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That growing sense that something big is about to happen. The sleepless nights, the moments of unease, the sudden realizations that the life you're living now isn't where you're meant to stay. Let me tell you this, your time is almost here. You are leaving very soon, and when you do, everything is going to change. You've been in a season of preparation, but it hasn't been easy. You've faced trials that would have broken most people. You've endured rejection, isolation, and doubt, wondering why life seemed to push you further away from the things you wanted. But let me remind you of this. Diamonds are made under pressure, and the fire you've been walking through is refining you for the next chapter. There's a reason you've felt out of place, like you don't belong where you are. It's because you don't. You were never meant to settle in this season. The people around you, the situations you've endured, the limitations you've faced, they were all temporary. God has been using this time to prepare you for a move so extraordinary that even you can't fully comprehend it yet. This is the moment where faith meets action. You see, when God is getting ready to shift you, He doesn't send a gentle nudge. He sends undeniable signs. The discomfort you've been feeling, that's not coincidence. That's God stirring your spirit, letting you know it's time to move. The opportunities that seem to be drying up around you, they're not rejections, they're redirections. God is closing doors that no longer serve your purpose because He's about to open one so massive, so undeniable, that you'll know it's been reserved just for you. But let's be real, leaving isn't always easy. It means stepping into the unknown, leaving behind the familiar, and trusting that what lies ahead is better than what you're leaving behind. This requires courage, chosen ones, and courage is something you've been building all along. Every battle you've faced, every tear you've cried, every moment you've questioned your path, it's all been preparing you for this moment. You are not leaving empty-handed. God has been equipping you with tools, lessons, and experiences that will serve you in this new season. Those moments when you thought you were being overlooked, God was teaching you humility. The times when you felt like you were fighting battles alone, God was teaching you resilience. And the times when you felt lost and uncertain, God was teaching you to trust Him even when the path wasn't clear. Now, as you prepare to leave, you may feel resistance. The enemy doesn't want to see you step into your purpose. He will try to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and hesitation in your mind. He will remind you of every mistake you've made, every failure you've experienced, and every reason why you're not good enough. But here's the truth. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by the God who called you, and He says you are more than enough. Chosen ones, this is not the time to look back. Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Why? Because looking back anchors you to a place you were never meant to stay. Don't let nostalgia or fear keep you from stepping into the future God has for you. The place you're leaving served its purpose, but it's time to move forward. And as you prepare for this shift, remember that God has already gone ahead of you. He's clearing the path, opening doors, and aligning opportunities that you can't even see yet. Your job is not to figure out every detail, it's to trust Him. Trust that His plan is better than yours. Trust that He's taking you somewhere greater. Trust that this move is the breakthrough you've been waiting for. So, chosen ones, get ready. Pack your faith, your courage, and your trust, because you are leaving very soon. And when you do, the world will see what God has been preparing you for all along. Chosen ones, the journey to leaving isn't just about the destination, it's about the transformation happening within you as you prepare to take that step. The process of leaving isn't just physical or situational, it's spiritual, emotional, and deeply personal. This is a moment where your faith will be tested like never before. It's not just about where you're going, but about who you're becoming in the process. As you move forward, you'll begin to notice shifts in your relationships. People who once seemed like allies may begin to fade away. Some may question your decision to leave, not understanding the calling God has placed on your life. Others may try to hold you back, whether out of jealousy, fear, or simply because they don't want to see you grow beyond the version of you they're comfortable with. But chosen ones, let me tell you this: not everyone can go where God is taking you. This isn't a punishment or a loss, it's a necessary part of your journey. Some people were only meant to walk with you for a season, and that season is coming to an end. It's not your job to drag people into a future they're not prepared for. It's your job to walk boldly into the destiny God has prepared for you, even if that means leaving some people behind. At the same time, God will begin to bring new people into your life, individuals who align with your purpose, who understand your vision, and who will walk with you in this next chapter. These divine connections are part of His plan to support you, guide you, and remind you that you're never truly alone. Pay attention to the people God places in your path during this time. They are there for a reason. Now, let's talk about the emotions that come with leaving. You might feel a mix of excitement and fear, hope and uncertainty, joy and sorrow. All of these feelings are valid, and they're part of the process. But don't let fear paralyze you. Remember, fear is a liar. It will try to convince you that you're not ready, that you're not strong enough, or that you'll fail. But God didn't give you a spirit of fear. He gave you a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. This is also a time to reflect on the lessons you've learned in this current season. Every experience, whether good or bad, has prepared you for what's ahead. Think back to the times when you thought you wouldn't make it, but somehow you did. Think about the moments when you felt lost, but God showed up and guided you. Those moments weren't coincidences. They were part of your preparation. And let's not forget the power of gratitude. As you prepare to leave, take a moment to thank God for the season you're stepping out of. Even if it was filled with challenges, it served a purpose. It taught you, stretched you, and strengthened you in ways you couldn't have imagined. Gratitude shifts your perspective and reminds you that every step of your journey is a part of God's greater plan. But chosen ones, leaving also requires action. It's not enough to know that God is calling you to move. You have to take the first step. Sometimes that step will feel small, like a whisper of faith. Other times, it will feel like a giant leap into the unknown. But no matter how big or small the step, it's a step of obedience. And obedience is what activates God's promises in your life. You may be wondering, how will I know when it's time to leave? The truth is, you already know. God has been speaking to you through signs, through His word, and through the stirring in your spirit. That unease you feel, that longing for something greater, that sense that you're outgrowing your current situation. It's all God's way of letting you know that the time is near. But don't rush the process. God's timing is perfect, and He will make it clear when it's time to move. In the meantime, prepare yourself. Strengthen your faith through prayer. Immerse yourself in His word, and stay open to His guidance. The preparation phase is just as important as the transition itself. Chosen ones, this is a sacred moment. You are on the brink of something extraordinary, something that will not only change your life, but also impact the lives of those around you. This isn't just about leaving, it's about stepping into your calling, fulfilling your purpose, and walking in alignment with God's plan. So, as you stand at the edge of this new chapter, remember this: God has already gone ahead of you. He's prepared the way, equipped you with everything you need, and placed His hand upon your life. All you have to do is trust Him and take the next step. Chosen ones, the moment of departure is near, and it's time to fully embrace the reality of what's ahead. You are no longer who you used to be, and because of that, you can no longer stay where you've been. This isn't just a physical or situational shift. It's a spiritual calling, a divine transition that marks the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Leaving isn't just about walking away from the old. It's about stepping boldly into the new. It's about trusting that God has something greater waiting for you, even if you can't see it yet. Remember, faith isn't about knowing every detail of the journey. It's about trusting the one who is leading you. And chosen ones, you're not leaving alone. God is walking with you every step of the way. Now, let's talk about the promises that await you on the other side of this transition. When God calls you to leave, it's never to diminish you. It's always to elevate you. He's calling you to a place where you can thrive, where your gifts can flourish, and where your purpose can be fulfilled. The place you're going is not just a physical location. It's a spiritual realm where you'll experience God's blessings in ways you never thought possible. But chosen ones, don't be surprised if the transition comes with challenges. Just because you're leaving doesn't mean the journey will be easy. In fact, the enemy will often try to attack you the hardest when you're closest to your breakthrough. He knows what's waiting for you on the other side, and he'll do everything he can to stop you from reaching it. You may face moments of doubt, fear, and even loneliness. You may question whether you're truly ready or whether you're making the right decision. But in those moments, remember who you are and whose you are. You are chosen by God, and He doesn't make mistakes. If He's calling you to leave, it's because He knows you're ready, even if you don't feel like it. This is where your faith becomes your anchor. When the storms of uncertainty rise, hold on to God's promises. Remind yourself that He has a plan for you, a plan to prosper you and not to harm you, a plan to give you hope and a future. Declare His word over your life and let it strengthen you in moments of doubt. Chosen ones, as you prepare to leave, it's important to let go of the weight that no longer serves you. This could mean letting go of toxic relationships, old habits, or limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. You can't step into your new season carrying the baggage of the past. God is calling you to travel light so that you can move freely into what He has prepared for you. And don't forget to reflect on how far you've come. Take a moment to acknowledge the growth, the lessons, and the victories that have brought you to this point. The challenges you faced weren't just obstacles, they were stepping stones. They were part of your preparation, shaping you into the person you need to be for this next chapter. As you leave, you'll also notice the ripple effect of your obedience. Your decision to step into your calling will inspire others to do the same. You are a light, chosen ones, and your courage to follow God's leading will encourage those around you to seek their own purpose. This isn't just about you. It's about the impact you're meant to have on the world. So what's next? As you step out in faith, stay aligned with God's voice. Continue to seek Him through prayer, worship, and His word. Let Him guide your steps and trust that He will provide everything you need along the way. The path may not always be clear, but the one who called you is faithful. Chosen ones, you are leaving very soon, and when you do, the world will take notice. They'll see the favor of God upon your life. They'll see the transformation that only He could bring, and they'll see that when God calls someone, nothing can stand in the way. This is your moment. This is your time. So rise up, step out, and embrace the future God has for you. The best is yet to come, chosen ones, and it all begins the moment you take that first step.